Hi everyone, Richard Fredrickson here at Al's Steakhouse at Hams, or Hamus, I always call it Hamus, and Jefferson. Al's Steakhouse, the iconic restaurant here in Joliet, Illinois, where we do our shows here on Channel 6. And today's show we have, I think, probably one of the most interesting guests I've had in a long time, so I want to share him with you in just a moment here. We'll be introducing Dr. Clyde Dawson, who has a couple stories for you, successful ones, on his trip medical mission to Bolivia. And first of all, great to see you this morning. It's
Thank
great
you very much.
Wherever it is out there, afternoon, evening, whenever, it is morning here, and it's a day after we had the one day of summer. Remember that? When it was 90 degrees? And now it's a little different out there, right? Just an invite for you for lunch or for dinner. You know where to go. Al's Steakhouse is the place to be, whether it's just the two of you or a whole group, business group, whatever. And of course, banquet rooms are the best in the whole Joliet area. Al's Steakhouse, great place. And we thank them for hosting us. And we also thank our special executive director today, David Nelson, who was kind enough to make sure that you were here. And I got the story on Dr. Clyde Dawson. And then our grip and our coordinator, Megan Dawson, is here today and making an appearance behind the cameras and taking care of notes and things that we need to do behind the scenes. So we thank you very much. And of course, the president of Channel 6 and JCTV is with us today behind the cameras, but he'll get all that recognition on those credits as they roll after. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being here today. Tell me what your practice is right now before we go to Bolivia. What do you do in your spare time? No, what do you do? You're on call this morning, by the way, and if his pager goes off, that's just the way Dr. Dawson's life is, I guess, these days,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm a general and vascular surgeon. I work at Meridian Medical Associates right here in Joliet, and I've been here since 1982.
1982, all right. A few years in between, now in 2014. You must be doing something right. They've kept you on all these years.
I guess so. I guess so. I haven't found a replacement yet.
Well, I've been to Meridian, and they're great people, and a fine set of doctors, nurses, and staff and
Thank you
technicians.
very much.
They really are.
Thank
They
you
do a
very
great
much.
job over there. A little personal background, just a little brief background. I know your daughter is here today. A little bit about your family, and are you a Will County resident? Are you in the Joliet area? Or?
Yeah, I live in Minooka,
Oh, okay.
right down
great.
the road
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Water a little high today in Minooka?
It's not really high. It's not really high.
Yeah, I know it
We had
wasn't.
a lot of rain last night.
Wilmington was. My medical people were late because of rain and accidents and things this morning. So as a general practitioner at Meridian here in Joliet, how in the world does someone from Joliet get involved with medical missions in Bolivia, of all places? How did that happen?
Okay, well, this actually started many years ago when I initially came here. I got associated with Will Grundy County Medical Free Clinic, and that's a thing here in Joliet that the doctors here are very proud of. All of the doctors, almost every doctor here in Joliet volunteers for this and takes care of people that are referred to them for medical conditions or surgery who are indigent. They don't have insurance, they're not eligible for insurance, and most of them are Hispanic. And so I would be seeing these people in my office for free, and most of them wouldn't be able to speak a word of English. So I started learning Spanish and started to learn more about the culture and learn more about it, and then and got interested in. Then I got a letter from a nurse that works with Joliet Diocese Partnership and Mission, and she invited me on a mission, and I thought, boy, that would be another good idea, and it sounded like another opportunity to help people, and I was enjoying what I did on the side, sort of a little bit on the side, and so I went on a mission, and that was in 2002, and got to help a lot of people up there in the mountains. They're very isolated and very poor. And I've been down to Bolivia 8 times in the last 12 years since 2002, and a lot of missions and a lot of adventures.
Where, for you uninformed folks in geography, where is Bolivia?
Bolivia is smack dab in the middle of South America. It's not touching any of the oceans. It's just landlocked right in the middle.
Yeah. And it has a huge mountainous area. At least I Googled it, and that's what I read. So you're up in those foothills, up in those mountains?
Yeah, we're in a altiplano, which is between 2 big mountain ranges.
And so valley.
It's very high. It's 9,000 feet elevation there.
And I see those trucks coming up on that road. It's kind of an interesting. Do you drive the truck, by the way?
No, I don't drive a truck. No.
I don't blame you at all, because that looks pretty precarious, looking at those trucks on the mountain roads. What kind of surgeries do you do up there?
The surgeries that I do, first of all, there's the usual kind of operations, just like we do here, like laparoscopic gallbladders. They have some rudimentary laparoscopic equipment, and the Indians there are, I think, genetically predisposed to gallstones, and so that's the thing that we do the most. We do like 3, maybe 4 gallbladder operations every single day that we're down there, and then there's the usual things like hernias and thyroids, and then there's other surgeries that we never do here that we do there because they have their own special diseases. You know, for example, they have Chagas disease, which only occurs in South America. It's not on any other continent.
What is that?
Chagas disease is caused by a parasite, and it gets to a person through a bite of a beetle. It's called the Udival beetle. And it attacks the nervous system, and it among other things, it paralyzes the large intestine. So people get constipation, and over years, constipation, their bowels just get huge. It's called megacolon, and they can get some of the most incredibly enlarged colons that we ever see in medicine. And so, some of our job is removing colons, colon resections, doing colostomies, closing colostomies, and other things for Chagas disease.
Yeah. Is this mostly with the adults, not the children, right?
Well, you can get it when you're a child, but it takes years to develop. You know, so by the time they get the full-blown illness and the megacolon, it's sometimes decades after they got it.
And sometimes the surgeries are rather primitive. We see a picture here of you, the team, and then is that a flashlight I'm seeing there?
Yes, the operating rooms are very nice and clean, and it's a very nice hospital, and the people are very proud of how they take care of their hospital, but they're really broke. And especially the first few missions, we don't have these nice big operating lights to light up everything, and so we have to get by, and there's a picture of a medical student standing up on a chair and shining a flashlight into the operating field.
See that, yeah.
And then there's another picture where there's a lamp like you might have next to your nightstand or next to your sofa on a stand,
Right.
and we have that taped to a chair with medical tape, so that it's up higher, and then that shines down into the operative field.
Amazing.
So that we can see it.
Amazing. Are you doing this? It looks like you're in a building. You're not in a tent doing these things, right?
No, this is a regular hospital. It's a small hospital. There's 4 operating rooms, and there's about room for about 50 patients. They're in big, like, dormitory style wards.
So, how many trips you say you made there? 12?
I've been on 8 trips.
Okay,
so
8
the
trips.
last 12 years.
So the difference between the first trip and the 8th trip, have you seen some progress? Is it different today than it was on that first trip, or not?
There's a little bit of improvement. You know, the lighting is a little bit better over the years, but not that good. Still, when we're doing surgery down there, it's always difficult. You know, you think hernia surgery is very easy, But down there, it's difficult to see what you're doing. You know, here it's a pleasure. You know, you get back and hernia surgery is so easy. It's easy when you can see what you're doing, but down there everything's just in the dark, it seems like.
May I just say one thing, and maybe easy for him. It's not easy for you or me, but
So don't try it in your own
don't try
garage.
this at home, okay? Let's take a couple of, just a little bit tour of the place. We'll see some of the countryside of Bolivia, and as we're looking at that, how does this all start? I mean, is there an organization that puts this all together and makes it all happen, or are you just going down there by yourself?
This is through Joliet Diocese Partnership and Mission, and this is an organization that goes to Bolivia, but they also go to Africa. They go to Indian reservations in the Southwest United States. They go to the Philippines and other places. And it's organized in two teams. There's a medical team and a construction team. And we do, of course, the medical work in the hospital, and also there's medical doctors that go out into the country and take care of poor people out there. They examine a bunch of children at their grade schools. And then there's a construction team that go out and help people put their houses together. Chagas disease comes from this beautiful beetle, but this beetle drops on people from their thatched roofs when they're sleeping at night. You know, so part of the construction team, what they do is they replace their thatched roofs with corrugated metal, and then and some, you know, there'll be houses with only 3 walls, and they'll put another wall in, or they'll be on mud floors, and they'll put a cement floor for their home. They just go from home to home and do different things.
How large a team is this? How many folks go down there with you?
Well, this time we had a small team when we went down there in April, but 20 people. Usually there's 30 or 35 people, construction and
everyone.
Yeah. But it takes all those people to carry all that medical equipment. We take our gowns and gloves and medical tools, drugs, anesthetic drugs, and take it all down there. So we have 2 suitcases, and, you know, a little bit of our clothing in one suitcase, and the rest of the 2 suitcases is filled with medical equipment and things that we're bringing down for the hospital.
Is that a challenge for the team in terms of the government allowing you in with all of this? Are they supportive?
Well, they don't like us bringing in stuff. You know, their general attitude is they'd like us to go down there and buy all this stuff. You know, but the problem is we can't buy the stuff down there, so we try to bring it in. And yes, we do have a problem because they change the rules on us all the time. They say, well, you're going to pay this tax on this or this. And then when you get down there, they say, "Oh, that's all wrong. It's all changed." And then they confiscate. In 2012 in Santa Cruz, they confiscated all of our anesthetic drugs, for example. But this year we snuck through customs without getting anything confiscated, so we were very lucky, and I breathed a sigh of relief. For a while there, I was wondering if I was going to spend a few months in a Bolivian prison, but we got through without getting anything confiscated.
No, we don't want you doing that, Doctor. And congratulations on getting that through. The team, we know this could be 30 or less or a little bit more. Not the medical team, but the folks who do some of the help in the construction and get out in the field there. Who are these people? I mean, are they couples? Are they just men? Is there women? What's their background?
They're just all different backgrounds. There's some teachers. Some of them are nurses that decided not to do the medical side of it. Lawyers, engineers. One of them is a software engineer, and lawyers. And I'll go down there and decide to do something different. Yeah. So not all of them know anything about construction. Do
you have to go through, and we're going to get to this point later on about if you're interested in maybe joining the doctor and joining the team, do they need to get inoculations? Do they have to be physically fit? What are some of the requirements?
It's strongly recommended that you're pretty physically fit. This is 9,000 feet altitude, so when I walk to the hospital, which is about a kilometer every morning, it's, you know, when you're in a hurry, you get really winded. So being in good shape is very important.
The definition of breathtaking is right there, right?
Yeah,
Takes your
sometimes
breath
when you're
away.
not doing too much, you can get out of breath.
Yeah.
You have to have yellow fever vaccine. You have to have tetanus. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
You have to have a certificate saying you've had that.
You've had it. And when you fly in, where are you flying in at? Quito, or where are you flying in at? What city?
Well, we fly into Santa Cruz,
Okay.
which is in the tropical rainforest. It's down at near sea level, and then we have to wait around there for about a day to take another plane to go up into the mountains to Sucre, where we work. So it takes 2 whole days of traveling. Not that much time is in the jet, but a lot of times waiting around airports, going from city to city and place to place.
Yeah. The truck drivers that we saw in those other pictures, now, are those your drivers, or are those the guys who are Bolivians?
Those are Bolivians.
Now, you mentioned earlier, and you said the Indians. And so the folks you're dealing with in Bolivia, that's what they're Indians.
Right. In Bolivia, it's a communist country. They have socialized medicine, but that's nothing is free. And as it turns out, 80% of the indigenous population in Bolivia has no insurance. So even though it's supposedly social, it's socialized, the majority of people aren't able to get health care. And that's what we take care of. We take care of the people that are out of the system, the marginated people in Bolivia.
Well, a respect and recognition of whoever it was who started this mission. Is there a person or a team, or who started this? Because they have to go through some hoops and loops and political phrase to be able to get these missions in there. This started back, what'd you say, 12 years ago?
This started actually 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
I started going 12 years ago, but it was started by Enrique Mendeville, who is a friend of mine, and he's a Bolivian. He was born in Cochabamba, and then he came to the United States. He's been living here for several decades, but it was his idea to go back to his country in Bolivia and help out the poor people.
Wow. You know, that's wonderful. And we have so many young folks, and some of them are in this area at University of St. Francis and Lewis University. It might be something to think about if you're from the other country and you're learning whatever your degree, whatever your profession is, to maybe take some of that back to where you came from, at least for the short time, to help some of those folks out. Because the real story is, and we don't get a lot of that on our news, is that there's countries out there, not only Bolivia, but you know, there's few countries doing real well. Let's put it that way. The vast majority of the population of the earth in this world isn't all in that great a shape, both economically, health-wise, and wealth-wise. So if folks out there want more information, or if they want to go, I mean, do you look for, does the organization look for volunteers? What age do they have to be? I mean, can they be 18, or do they have to be 21? What's the criteria?
Well, I don't think you have to worry about that. I think if you're interested in going, I strongly recommend you give it a try. You know, I don't think there's any restrictions you have to worry about. You don't have to be Catholic. I'm not Catholic. I'm Protestant. They take people that aren't. I don't think they even pay attention to that. If somebody is interested in looking into it or interested in joining a mission, what they should do is just go to the internet and Google Joliet Diocese Partnership and Mission, and then there's all these pictures of our mission and the other missions to the other places of the world, and you can just look and see which ones you would be interested in. It has all the dates. You can pick out which one and which date you'd like to go, and then you download PDF that's got the application form. It's like a 9-page application form, and fill that out, mail it in, and you have a good chance of going if you want to go.
Great. When do these missions, you say there's several times a year or twice a year? When do they take off?
The one, they're all different times. The one to Bolivia is usually in March or April, but the other missions are throughout the year.
Now, when they go March and April, is that because of weather or climate? Is there a reason why March and April? Or is that just because it's...
I think it's habit. We used to go twice a year, and then the other time would be the October or November. But they dropped that one, but I don't think there's any particular reason.
Because the weather doesn't really change that much in Bolivia, does it? I mean, spring... The climate in Bolivia depends completely on the altitude. So if you're down by Santa Cruz, it's hot. If you're up where we are, it's temperate, and the difference between winter and summer is really negligible. Yeah. Okay. So when is your next mission?
Next mission is next April.
Next April 2015.
2015, yes.
Wow. Well, it's been a delight to talk with you. Some of the folks who've traveled with you as a team, you're down there, you're working hard, you're trying to catch your breath, walking that 1 kilometer, whatever. How about friendships? If folks decide to do this, over the years, have you developed relationships and friendships with folks in the construction area? Not all medical. I'm sure there was folks you work with in the medical mission that you don't know either, right? You're not all buddies that are going down there.
You get to be real good friends with them by the end of the mission.
I'll bet.
You get to know everybody, but I think the most important friendships that we form are the people that we work with, and that's why I would strongly recommend, if you go down there, to try very hard to learn as much Spanish as you can. I tried to, as I mentioned before I got there, but even on my first mission, I had a hard time communicating with people. But the more that I learned, the more I was able to converse with them and learn about their culture, the stronger the friendships I developed, and the people down there, now they're just very good friends of mine, and they look forward to when I come, and they're on my Facebook, and they email me, and they say, when you come, can you bring this, and when are you going to come next time, and telling me about the patients that we operated on.
What about the patients that you've operated on over the years? Do you see some of those folks when you're down there, the ones you've already operated on, or are they off into their world and their life?
Well, that's one of the things we worry about, because after you operate on them, they're kind of gone. Mm-hmm. They live in the mountains, and in the mountains there's no good roads. They go by foot. So when we do gallbladder surgery, that person, we keep them overnight. Here we could do it as an outpatient, but we keep them overnight. Sometimes, like this one lady had to walk 10 kilometers to get home after her gallbladder surgery.
Oh my God.
So they're kind of gone. So if they have problems, we can't deal with them, and I just feel very nervous. Every time we do surgery, everything has to go good. Yeah. We're using instruments that aren't very good. We're doing cases with just a tiny fraction of the instruments that we would have at home, and we hope things go good, and we try our best, and are just so afraid if they have a complication. There's no intensive care unit. There's no other specialists. You can't send them to a urologist or a cardiologist or a pulmonologist. There's no ventilators, so they're in bad shape.
Yeah.
So we kind of lose track of them.
Well, we hope not to lose track of you. We're delighted that you are a busy guy, and pagers are going off, and I don't know if you heard that one, but we've had a couple of them this morning. You're a busy Dr. Clyde Dawson.
Never too busy to come here. Thank you very much for inviting me. I really appreciate this.
Thank you very much. Thanks to
You're
your
very
daughter
welcome.
Megan and to Dave Nelson for bringing you to my attention and the medical mission to our attention, and hopefully now you know more about that. And so I believe we're going to put this, as we roll the credits, we're going to put that link on there for you to get more information, and if you want to volunteer for a medical mission, you got all kinds of time to get in shape. It's not till April of 2015. And so give that some thought. We'll see you next time. I'm Richard Fredrickson. This is Channel 6. We're at Al's Steakhouse. Take care.